For today's grim adventure, we once again find ourselves in Los Angeles, California, where behind this decrepit-looking fence once stood a beautiful pink house known as the Pink Palace, a home that once belonged to Jayne Mansfield.
The rich people live in Beverly Hills on the rolling asphalt boulevards.
Hollywood's golden age wasn't just about glitz and glamour. Behind closed doors, the biggest stars built some of the strangest homes you've never seen. From hidden tunnels and secret rooms to pink palaces and haunted mansions, these weren't just houses. They were reflections of fame, excess, and mystery. Why did legends like Jayne Mansfield, Howard Hughes, and Errol Flynn create homes Hollywood wanted to forget? Stay tuned as we reveal the 20 weirdest celebrity homes that held more secrets than any movie script. Jayne Mansfield's Pink Palace, Hollywood's most outrageous mansion. In a city built on dreams, few stars made their home as unforgettable as Jayne Mansfield. Her famous Pink Palace, built in the late 1950s, wasn't just a house, it was a statement. Covered in bubblegum pink from top to bottom, this mansion stood out even in flashy Los Angeles. From the moment you saw it, you knew it belonged to someone who craved attention. As Jayne once said, "If you're going to do something, do it big." Inside, things got even stranger. The bathroom wasn't just pink. It had shag carpeting on the floors, walls, and even the ceiling. The heart-shaped swimming pool was decorated with tiles that spelled out, "I love you, Janie." And her husband, former Mr. Universe Mickey Hargitay, added his own flair by designing a fountain that Jayne would famously fill with pink champagne during wild parties. This wasn't just a home, it was Jayne Mansfield's personality in architectural form. But beneath the glitter and pink paint was a deeper story. Jayne wasn't just being playful, she was fighting to stand out in a Hollywood that constantly compared her to Marilyn Monroe. The Pink Palace was her way of saying she was more than just a copy. It was her personal brand turned into bricks and mortar. Sadly, after her tragic death in 1967, the house changed hands several times before being demolished in 2002. Today, the Pink Palace is gone, but its legend lives on. It remains a symbol of how far one star would go to make sure no one ever forgot her. Jayne Mansfield didn't just live in Hollywood, she painted it pink. While Jayne Mansfield's home was a bold splash of color and excess, another silent star created a mansion filled with hidden surprises and clever design. But unlike Jayne, his story ended in quiet heartbreak. Let's step inside Buster Keaton's estate, a place where comedy genius met personal tragedy, all behind closed doors. Buster Keaton's hidden playground, genius at home. Buster Keaton, known as the king of silent film comedy, didn't just perform his stunts on screen, he built them into his home. In the 1920s, Keaton designed a 20-room Beverly Hills estate that was more like a playground than a mansion. It had everything from a Roman-style swimming pool to a trout stream running through the garden. Keaton once joked, "If you're going to live, you might as well enjoy it." But it wasn't just the obvious luxuries that made his home unique. True to his inventive spirit, Keaton installed secret features throughout the house. A hidden bar could transform into a private screening room with the push of a button, perfect for late-night movie viewings with friends. Every corner of the house reflected his creativity and love for engineering, proving that his genius wasn't limited to the big screen. Unfortunately, the good times didn't last. As Hollywood shifted from silent films to talkies, Keaton's career began to decline. Financial mistakes and a messy divorce forced him to sell the home he had poured his heart into. It wasn't just losing a house, it was watching a dream fall apart. The estate, once filled with laughter and invention, became a symbol of how fast Hollywood could turn on its stars. Today, Keaton's mansion is gone, but his story remains a powerful reminder. Behind the laughter was a man who built a world of wonder, only to see it slip away. His home was more than just walls and rooms, it was the stage for his private joys and heartbreaks. While Buster Keaton's home told a story of creativity and loss, Marion Davies's mansion was built on love, luxury, and control. backed by one of the most powerful men in America. Her seaside palace became a glittering symbol of excess, but also of sacrifice. Let's explore the grand, complicated world of Ocean House. Marion Davies's Ocean House, a palace built on power and control. Marion Davies, a star of silent films, lived in one of the most extravagant homes Hollywood had ever seen. But she didn't build it alone. With the financial backing of her lover, media tycoon William Randolph Hearst, Marion's Ocean House rose along the Santa Monica coastline in the 1920s. With over 100 rooms, 55 bathrooms, and 37 fireplaces, it wasn't just a home, it was a castle by the sea. As Marion once said, "When Bill builds, he builds big." The centerpiece was a 110-foot swimming pool, surrounded by marble statues and lush gardens. It was here that Davies hosted some of the most glamorous parties of the era. Guests like Winston Churchill and Charlie Chaplin sipped cocktails while gazing at the Pacific. On the surface, it looked like a fairy tale life. But behind the scenes, things weren't so perfect. Ocean House was also a cage. Marion's success as an actress became tied to Hearst's influence. His controlling nature often overshadowed her own ambitions. While she entertained Hollywood's elite, she was also navigating a complicated relationship that kept her in the shadow of a powerful man. When Hearst's finances collapsed in the 1930s, the estate suffered too, sold off piece by piece until only fragments remained. Today, all that's left of Ocean House is the pool and a guest house, now part of a public beach facility. The grand mansion is gone, but its story still whispers along the coast, a reminder of a woman who lived in luxury but paid a price for it. From seaside palaces to haunted hills, Hollywood's Golden Age homes were more than just luxurious. They were reflections of the stars' deepest dreams and darkest secrets. And no home captured mystery and tragedy quite like Rudolph Valentino's Falcon Lair, where fame, fortune, and fate collided. Rudolph Valentino's Falcon Lair, the haunted home of Hollywood's first heartthrob. Rudolph Valentino wasn't just Hollywood's first heartthrob, he was a legend before he even turned 30. At the peak of his fame in the 1920s, he built Falcon Lair, a grand estate tucked away in Beverly Crest. Designed with arched doorways, sprawling gardens, and medieval-style staircases, the home reflected Valentino's Italian roots. He named it after his film, The Hooded Falcon. As he once said, "This is where I will find peace." But fate had other plans. Valentino barely had time to enjoy his dream home. Just months after moving in, he died suddenly at the age of 31. His death shocked the world, and Falcon Lair became more than just a house. It turned into a shrine. Fans gathered at the gates, leaving flowers and love notes. But whispers soon spread that Valentino believed the estate was cursed, a chilling rumor that only grew after his passing. Over the years, Falcon Lair changed owners, but strange stories followed. People reported eerie sounds, shadowy figures, and a heavy feeling of sadness within the walls. Some said Valentino's spirit never left. The once beautiful estate slowly fell into disrepair, weighed down by its tragic past. In the early 2000s, Falcon Lair was demolished, erasing the physical reminder of Hollywood's most mysterious star. Yet, the legend of Falcon Lair lives on. It remains a haunting symbol of how fleeting fame can be, and how even the grandest homes can become tombs for dreams that ended too soon. While Falcon Lair became a symbol of tragedy and mystery, another mansion told a different story, one of glamour, royalty, and eventually, heartbreak. Mary Pickford's Pickfair wasn't just a home, it was the palace of Hollywood's first power couple. But behind the grand parties and famous guests was a tale of love lost and a legacy destroyed. Mary Pickford's Pickfair, the vanished palace of Hollywood royalty. In the 1920s, Mary Pickford was known as America's sweetheart. But in Hollywood, she was a queen. Alongside her husband, Douglas Fairbanks, she created Pickfair, a 42-room mansion in Beverly Hills that became the heart of Hollywood's elite. With private screening rooms, ballrooms, and a swimming pool where they canoed for guests, Pickfair wasn't just a home. As Mary once said, it was where Hollywood came to life. World leaders, movie stars, and legends like Albert Einstein and Charlie Chaplin walked through its grand halls. Pickfair became a symbol of success, love, and Hollywood's golden glamour. But when Mary and Douglas divorced in the 1930s, the magic faded. Mary withdrew from public life, rarely leaving the mansion that once echoed with laughter. The grand estate became a lonely castle, filled with memories she couldn't escape. In her later years, Mary was seen as a recluse, wandering Pickfair's empty halls. After her death, the mansion passed through several hands until actress Pia Zadora bought it in the 1990s. Shockingly, Zadora demolished the iconic home, claiming it was beyond repair and possibly haunted. Hollywood historians called it a tragedy, the loss of a landmark that defined an era. Today, Pickfair exists only in photographs and stories. It serves as a reminder that even the grandest palaces of fame can crumble, and that behind every Hollywood fairy tale is a very human ending. While Mary Pickford's mansion symbolized royalty and retreat, Douglas Fairbanks had a secret world of his own. Known for his daring roles on screen, Fairbanks built a private estate where adventure continued long after the cameras stopped rolling. But hidden beneath the surface was a man seeking escape from more than just the press. Douglas Fairbanks's secret tunnel estate, the Swashbuckler's Escape. Douglas Fairbanks was Hollywood's original action hero, the star of Robin Hood and The Thief of Baghdad. But off-screen, he created his own adventure at his Santa Monica estate, known as Fairbanks Ranch. With lush gardens, a private lake, and a state-of-the-art gym, it was a playground fit for a swashbuckler. Fairbanks once joked, "Why just act out adventures when you can live them?" The most intriguing feature? A secret underground tunnel that connected the main house to the boathouse. Fairbanks used it to dodge paparazzi or surprise his guests with dramatic entrances. The estate was more than luxury. It was designed for fun, privacy, and a touch of mischief. Tennis matches with Hollywood's elite and late-night boat rides were regular events. But as his marriage to Mary Pickford ended and his career began to fade, Fairbanks retreated deeper into his estate. The lively gatherings became fewer, and the tunnels that once sparked excitement became pathways of solitude. Like many stars of his era, Fairbanks struggled with the reality of aging out of the spotlight. Eventually, Fairbanks Ranch was sold and subdivided, erasing much of its original charm. Yet, stories of its hidden tunnels and adventurous spirit remain. It's a reminder that even Hollywood's boldest stars sometimes build walls or tunnels to hide from the world they once conquered. From hidden tunnels to secret gatherings, Hollywood's golden age homes were filled with more than just luxury. They held the untold stories of stars searching for freedom, love, or escape. And nowhere was this more true than at the Garden of Allah, a place where the rules of Hollywood didn't apply. And the misfits of Tinseltown found their sanctuary. And storytelling style, no fluff, just the fascinating facts that keep viewers hooked. The Garden of Allah, Hollywood's hidden bohemian paradise. In a town obsessed with image, Alla Nazimova created a place where being different was celebrated. The Garden of Allah. This Sunset Boulevard estate wasn't just a mansion, it was a refuge for Hollywood's outcasts, artists, and free thinkers. Nazimova, a Russian-born actress known for pushing boundaries, transformed her home into a series of villas surrounded by lush gardens and a pool shaped like the Black Sea. She once said, "Here, you can be who you truly are." The garden quickly became legendary. Writers like F. Scott Fitzgerald and actors like Greta Garbo and Errol Flynn stayed there, drawn to its freedom from Hollywood's strict social rules. Behind its walls, parties blurred the lines between art, scandal, and self-expression. It was a safe space for those who didn't fit the mold, a rare sanctuary in an industry built on conformity. But Nazimova's bold vision came at a cost. Financial troubles forced her to sell the property in the 1920s, and it was turned into a hotel. Though the spirit of creativity lingered for a while, by the 1950s, the Garden of Allah had fallen into disrepair. Eventually, it was demolished and replaced by a strip malls, a painful symbol of Hollywood's tendency to bury its most unique histories. Today, few remember the exact spot where misfits and geniuses once gathered. But the Garden of Allah remains a whispered legend, proof that some of Hollywood's greatest stories happened far from the cameras, in places where the real stars could finally breathe. While the Garden of Allah offered freedom for the creative soul, William Randolph Hearst built something entirely different, a fortress of power and excess. His estate, known as Hearst Castle, wasn't designed for escape. It was built to impress, control, and dominate. But even in all its grandeur, there was a hidden cost. Hearst Castle, when a home becomes an empire. Perched on California's coast, Hearst Castle wasn't just a home, it was a kingdom. Built by media mogul William Randolph Hearst over nearly 30 years, this estate boasted 160 rooms, 2 massive pools, and a private zoo where zebras and giraffes roamed freely. Hearst filled the halls with treasures from Europe, centuries-old ceilings, statues, and tapestries. As he famously said, "If you can't own Europe, bring it to you." Hollywood's elite flocked to his legendary parties. Stars like Clark Gable and Greta Garbo wandered through opulent gardens and dined under medieval chandeliers. But behind the dazzling facade was a man obsessed with control. His longtime companion, actress Marion Davies, often found herself caught between the luxury and Hearst's demanding nature. The castle became both a palace and a gilded cage. By the 1930s, Hearst's empire began to crack. Financial troubles forced him to sell off much of his priceless art collection, though he managed to cling to the estate. The once vibrant castle grew quieter, its grandeur shadowed by the decline of the man who built it. Today, Hearst Castle is a state park, open to tourists who marvel at its impossible scale. But walking through its halls, it's clear this wasn't just a home. It was a symbol of how far one man would go to control his world, even as that world slowly slipped away. While Hearst Castle stood tall as a monument to power, another Beverly Hills home became famous for far darker reasons. Jean Harlow's house wasn't known for luxury or parties. It was known for tragedy, mystery, and whispers of a Hollywood curse that still lingers today. Jean Harlow's haunted house, A Curse in Beverly Hills. Jean Harlow was Hollywood's original blonde bombshell, but behind her glamorous image was a life touched by sorrow. In the early 1930s, she lived in a modest yet elegant home on North Palm Drive. It wasn't the biggest house in Beverly Hills, but it soon became infamous. Just 2 months after moving in, Harlow's husband, producer Paul Byrne, was found dead under suspicious circumstances. Though ruled a suicide, rumors of foul play and hidden scandals spread quickly. Harlow reportedly said, "This house will never feel the same." The tragedy didn't end there. Only a few years later, Harlow herself died suddenly at just 26, leaving Hollywood stunned. Fans began to believe the house was cursed, a place where happiness was doomed to fade. Over the decades, new owners reported eerie occurrences, strange noises, cold spots, and unsettling feelings they couldn't explain. But beyond the ghost stories, the home revealed another side of Jean Harlow. Inside, she had created a cozy sanctuary filled with books, photographs, and personal mementos. A softer reflection of a woman often seen only as a sex symbol. It was a reminder that beneath the Hollywood image, she was a young woman searching for normalcy. Today, the house still stands, a quiet relic of the Golden Age. While the stories of hauntings continue, it remains a symbol of a star who shined too brightly, too quickly, and the mysteries that Hollywood prefers to leave behind closed doors. From haunted halls to forgotten dreams, Hollywood's strangest homes carry the weight of the stars who once lived there. Some were palaces of power, others sanctuaries for the misunderstood. But Lloyd, his estate was a different kind of playground, a sprawling world where ambition and whimsy collided. Harold Lloyd's Green Acres, a silent star's fantasy land. Harold Lloyd was famous for hanging from clock towers and pulling off daring stunts in silent films. But his boldest creation wasn't on screen. It was his home. In the 1920s, Lloyd built Green Acres, a 44-room mansion in Beverly Hills that was as over-the-top as his movie antics. With 12 fountains, 7 gardens, and a 50-foot-long living room, Lloyd called it "my greatest set design." But Green Acres wasn't just for show. Lloyd filled the estate with personal touches that reflected his playful spirit. He built a 9-hole golf course, kept a private zoo, and even installed a hidden room to store his massive film collection. Every corner of Green Acres felt like a scene from one of his movies, adventurous, whimsical, and larger than life. As Hollywood shifted into the sound era, Lloyd's fame began to fade, but the mansion remained. Unfortunately, maintaining such a became a financial strain. He held on to Green Acres until his death in 1901. Much of the land was sold off. The once bustling playground quieter, a reminder of a golden era away. Today, the main stands as a historic landmark. Know the full story behind it. This wasn't just a mansion. Lloyd's dream world, built brick by showing that even off-screen, he was facing the next big adventure. Harold Lloyd's estate celebrated creative fun, another Hollywood legend, different approach to his private life. Flynn, the man who made millions laugh, built a home that hid his secrets underground. A modest house with tunnels, and a silent genius at work. Charlie Chaplin's secret world, stages, and solitude. Chaplin was a master of silent film. It came to his personal life. He true silence. His Beverly home, built in the 1920s, surprisingly modest for someone of his fame, hidden beneath its simple exteriors that revealed the real Chaplin. He once said, "Simplicity is a simple thing." The house featured an underground tunnel leading to a private, a clever escape route from pop, or an entrance for secret gatherings. Chaplin also built a miniature stage yard where he would rehearse scenes alone, blending his personal space with his creativeness. This wasn't just it was a workshop for one of his greatest. Chaplin's love for whimsy showed, filled with quirky sculptures and fun design. But as political tensions during the McCarthy era, Chaplin's more of a refuge than a playground. Accusations and increasing scrutiny eventually left the U.S., a country where he became a star. Today, Chaplin's house still exists as residence. On the outside, it looked like a home in Beverly Hills, but beneath are the stories of a man who changed and fiercely guarded the world he built as stopped rolling. While Chaplin protected his creative sanctuary, the star embraced both on and in. Gloria Swanson's not just a place to live. It was a stage larger-than-life persona. But as faded, so did her palace. Stories of glamour, secrets, and a hidden room no one was supposed to find. Gloria Swanson's Casa del Sol, drama, secrets, and decay. Gloria Swanson was one of Hollywood's first true icons, and her home, Casa del Sol, reflected every bit of her flair for the dramatic. Built in the 1920s, this Spanish-style mansion was filled with arched doorways, colorful tile work, and exotic treasures from around the world. Swanson once declared, "If I can't live on screen, I'll live in a masterpiece." The mansion wasn't just beautiful, it was mysterious. Hidden within its walls was a secret passage leading to a private room, rumored to be Swanson's personal retreat for confidential meetings or quiet escapes. Her parties were legendary, attracting Hollywood's elite, but only a select few ever knew what went on behind closed doors in that hidden space. As her career declined in the 1930s, the grandeur of Casa del Sol became harder to maintain. Financial troubles forced Swanson to sell the estate, and over time, the mansion passed through various owners. Eventually, it was demolished, erasing one of the most iconic homes of Hollywood's golden age. Though the physical structure is gone, Casa del Sol lives on in the legends of Gloria Swanson, a woman who refused to live a small life. The mansion was more than a home. It was her final stage, where the spotlight dimmed but never truly went out. From secret tunnels to hidden rooms, these homes weren't just about luxury. They were reflections of the star's deepest desires and fears. And as we move deeper into Hollywood's forgotten mansions, we find stories not just of wealth, but of excess, scandal, and stars who built walls to protect their most private selves. Errol Flynn's Mulholland Estate, Hollywood's playground of sin. Errol Flynn wasn't just known for his daring roles in Captain Blood or Robin Hood. His real-life adventures were just as wild. In the 1940s, he owned a private estate high in the Hollywood Hills, known as Mulholland Farm. From the outside, it looked like a peaceful retreat. But inside, it was one of the most scandalous homes in Golden Age Hollywood. As Flynn once bragged, "I like my whiskey old and my women young." The estate had everything a Hollywood rebel could want: a main house, guest house, and a lavish pool surrounded by tropical gardens. But the real shock came from the hidden features. There was a secret passage leading to a private bedroom used for secret affairs, and a two-way mirror in the master bedroom that let Flynn watch guests without them knowing. His parties were legendary, and so were the rumors of what happened inside those walls. Flynn also built a private pistol range and stocked his personal bar with rare liquors from around the world. The estate reflected his love for excess, both thrilling and self-destructive. But like many stars of the era, Flynn's success didn't last forever. As his health and finances declined in the 1950s, the once lively home began to rot, mirroring the unraveling of the man who once ruled it. The property was eventually sold and demolished, but Mulholland Farm lives on in whispers, not for its architecture, but for what it represented. A life of indulgence without boundaries, and a Hollywood legend who burned too bright, too fast. From wild nights to personal sanctuaries, Hollywood homes often reflected who the stars truly were when no one was watching. For Mae West, the original queen of confidence, her home wasn't about showing off. It was about holding her ground. In a world trying to move on, Mae stayed exactly where she was. Mae West's white apartment, the Queen of Defiance. Mae West didn't need a mansion to make a statement. While other stars moved into sprawling estates, she stayed in a white-gloved apartment in the Ravenswood, a stylish, historic building in Hollywood. It wasn't just a home, it was a shrine to her independence. "I like my apartment the way I like my men, classic and never out of style," she once quipped. West transformed her space with mirrored walls, crystal chandeliers, and thick white carpets that screamed elegance and power. At the center was her custom-built seashell-shaped bed, a signature piece that embodied her sensual, theatrical personality. The apartment was small by Hollywood standards, but it packed more attitude and character than most mansions combined. It was also filled with memorabilia from her career, from feathered costumes to press clippings that charted her rise to fame. Despite the changing tides of Hollywood, West never left the Ravenswood. While others followed trends or relocated for status, Mae stayed loyal to her space, proving that confidence was her biggest luxury. Even after her death in 1980, stories persisted of strange occurrences in the apartment: cold spots, lights flickering, voices in empty rooms. Residents claimed her spirit never really left. Today, the apartment is privately owned, but its legacy remains. A reminder that some stars don't fade. They stay exactly where they want to be. While Mae West ruled her apartment with pride, Howard Hughes built a fortress to hide from the world. What began as a luxury estate in Beverly Hills soon became something far more disturbing, a place of isolation, obsession, and a slow descent into madness. Howard Hughes's fortress, the hidden world of a Hollywood recluse. Howard Hughes was a billionaire, an aviator, a film producer, and one of Hollywood's most mysterious men. In the 1920s, he bought a sprawling estate in Beverly Hills, complete with towering hedges, high walls, and enough secrecy to make even the boldest tabloid give up. It wasn't a home. It was a fortress. As Hughes once said, "Privacy is not something I'm willing to negotiate." The estate was fitted with hidden rooms, long hallways, and heavily guarded gates. Hughes installed state-of-the-art tech for the time, including a private airstrip, so he could come and go unseen. As the years passed, the home became more of a bunker. He was rarely seen outside, communicating with staff through written notes, avoiding direct contact, a lifestyle fueled by growing paranoia. Inside, Hughes obsessed over details most would ignore: the exact placement of furniture, room temperature, and strict rules about germs. As his mental health declined in the 1940s and 50s, the home reflected his state of mind. Rooms were kept dark, windows were sealed, Some say he went weeks without leaving his bedroom, surrounded and scattered reports. After Hughes's death in 1976, the estate was eventually sold and later demolished. But the stories linger. His home became a symbol of how brilliance can turn into isolation, and how a life once filled with innovation could spiral into fear. The house may be gone, but its legend, and Hughes's haunted genius, is still part of Hollywood's shadowy past. These homes weren't just built with bricks. They were built with dreams, scandals, and stories Hollywood tried to bury. From luxury to loneliness, each mansion, apartment, or fortress told the truth about life behind the spotlight. Which of these bizarre celebrity homes surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed uncovering Hollywood's hidden past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more untold stories of fame, fortune, and the secrets that never made it to the silver screen. Thanks for watching.